Well, what I wanted to discuss in my Facebook Live video tonight is I've been asked a lot of times here over the last couple of weeks is when is fall going to actually arrive? What I can tell you is I think we're going to turn sharply cooler here in the next 7 days. So it is definitely going to get colder. But at the same time, we're not just talking about a one-day thing. This has been a sustained period of above normal conditions. And I wanted to do a unique medium range forecast, which I don't normally do. But like I said, the interest has been there, so I felt like this was probably worth a discussion between now and the end of the month. What does it look like? Do I think we're headed towards a cool pattern? Do I think that we're going to turn sharply cooler? Or is the cool spell that we're going to see, the 40s that move into the area, something that's short-term or long-term? And that I think I thought would make a nice Facebook Live video tonight here is, when's the cold going to arrive and will it last for the second part of October? And you know, we're definitely now moving towards Halloween season, and it just hasn't felt like it, has it? I mean, it's been warm today. I went outside to dinner, and it feels humid, sticky. It's just not comfortable outside. So that's going to be my topic of discussion tonight. Remember, guys, we are riding a streak of 109 nights in a row above 1,000 shares. Tonight's a big one. I want to make it over 100. I want to make it to 110 nights above 1,000 shares. And this is where I'm going to ask you guys to help me. So, thumbs up. Are we going to make it to 110 nights above 1,000 shares? Can everybody commit to 5 shares per person tonight? Thumbs up, yeah. We're going to do it. We'll do whatever it takes. Mark, we're going to be your share warriors tonight. Or thumbs down. You know what? I don't feel like annoying my friends tonight. I've put them through so much that I'm not going to do it again. We're seeing a lot of thumbs up flying across the screen there. It looks like a lot of people are going to commit to 4 to 5 shares per person. Should make it easy so we don't have to talk about this at all for the rest of the night. Seeing more thumbs up flying across the screen. So guys, on that, let's get ourselves to 1,000. The way that we do that tonight is everybody shares the video about 5 times per person, and we'll make it. Remember, it does count when you share it more than once. I'm going to share it twice, actually, over to WDRB News and WDRB Weather, and then we will jump into this discussion. And what I want to quickly discuss when we go into a discussion like this, so computer model data, I can tell you guys, is not always the most accurate. When computer models, we would consider them accurate, is when we see all of the computer models saying the exact same thing. So when you see something like that, it lends a lot of credibility, A, and B, it gives you high confidence in what's going to occur. Secondly, when we look in the medium and long range, what we do is we look at what we call ensemble computer model data. This is important because ensembles put a lot of different, basically we bend the computer models, we put a little bit of different physics in there, we tweak things a little bit. And what that normally does is that gives us more of a spread of solutions. So when you look at the ensemble data, if it's all showing the same thing, it gives you even more confidence on what you're talking about. So what we're going to do is start by looking at the jet stream pattern. Jet stream pattern is super important. And what we're going to look at is try to determine what the jet stream pattern indicates. Is it consistent between the European and the American ensemble computer models? And then ultimately, if there is consistency, what does that mean? What does that mean for us? So remember, guys, about 5 people per share, or 5 shares per person easily gets us to our goal. Let's get ourselves moving in that direction so I don't have to talk about it as much at the end of the video. Let's look at our jet stream in the current. And this is where we're going to start the video. What you'll notice in the current is, if you look at the jet stream, there's anomalous ridging in the eastern part of the U.S. And what does this mean? Well, what we know it means right now is that it's warmer than normal. It means that when you have high pressure dominating the eastern part of the U.S., you have warmth spread through the eastern part of the U.S. And this has kind of been a somewhat cyclical pattern that we've seen. The other part to that is what I would refer to this as is what we call a high amplitude jet stream. High amplitude means you have very large dips and very large ridges. In high amplitude patterns, you're going to get extremes one way or the other. You're not going to see normal traditionally. What you are going to see is big swings of heat or cool. You're not going to get the in-between stuff. And what you'll notice is, as we look at the eastern part of the U.S., this is as we look towards Thursday, you can continue to see this dome of high pressure. Despite the fact that we're going to be a little bit cooler on Thursday and Friday, it is not because the mid-level temperatures are super cool. It's because we basically have clouds that are stuck. So while I will tell you it's going to trend cooler over the next couple days, it is simply because of the clouds. You'll start to see a dip in the jet stream that approaches us on Sunday. And I can tell you that this is actually going to push a solid front through. And what you'll notice here is, in the western part of the U.S., you see high pressure and a dip in the east. And this is a basic opposite of what we currently have. So as we move into early next week, my opinion is we actually are going to get a sharp push of cool. And when you look at the data, looking at early next week, you see some lows out there that are pretty chilly. Data showing quite a few 40s to start things off early next week. So I'm going to tell you it is going to get cooler. But the question of this whole video all along was not, is it going to get cooler? Is it going to last? And what you're going to notice is we start to see a semi-permanent feature developing near Alaska. And it has been repetitive in this fall, and that is a massive dip in the jet stream from Alaska into California. And you can see this basically sits down into Southern Cal. Now what that means for us is that develops anomalously anomalous high pressure in the eastern part of the U.S. Now if you're thinking, Mark, isn't that what has caused the heat? Exactly. It is the exact thing that's caused the heat. And you can see it stays. So this is looking at October the 10th, October the 22nd, so this is looking at next Saturday, next Sunday, still the dome of highs there. Next Monday, there's a weak little disturbance, but you can see the overall is to have this dip, western part of the U.S., that's sitting off the coast, and then to create some high pressure. Now, you'll notice the GFS is starting to break that down as we look towards the end of October. You know, honestly, this is something to watch. If this ultimately is to occur in the end of October, as I mentioned, this pattern would shift harshly towards colder than normal. My opinion is this is probably not right, but at least in the longer range, it shows you the pattern remains a high amplitude pattern. High amplitude patterns will mean either sharply colder or sharply warmer. I'll say that one more time, that when you have high amplitude patterns, you normally don't have a lot of temperatures near normal. So let me show you the temperatures here on the GFS Ensemble computer model. And what you'll notice here on the GFS Ensemble, as you look towards early next week, it shows this just massive area of way warmer than normal. And I can tell you Saturday, Sunday, way warmer than normal. Early next week, you start to see the cool sliding in. Watch how quickly it arrives. Day 1, day 2 of the cool, and day 3, it's absolutely gone. And you see this massive warm bubble developing, spreading across the area as we look towards next weekend, continuing into the following week. And then remember, the GFS computer model into the really long range is trying to develop a dip in the eastern part of the U.S. And if that was right, and I will tell you I'm not convinced, it would start to shift towards sharply cool in the later part of October. But what I would like to do is see in the medium range, is the GFS alone in this concept, or is the European computer model following? Basically what I'm saying is one computer model is showing the bulk of this month as way above normal, with maybe the exception in the later part of the month. And what I would like to do is compare that to the European. The European showing on Friday of this week, the high pressure starts to dominate. It continues into Sunday. Just like the GFS, it shows a dip coming across the U.S. Sunday into Monday. This brings below normal temperatures as we look at the early part of next week. And quickly, the pattern also shows this semi-permanent feature that's developing Alaska into the western part of the U.S. Middle of next week, creating high pressure in the eastern part of the U.S. This high pressure becomes mammoth. And the European does not break it at the end of the month. It shows this consistent signal of above normal conditions lasting through at least October the 25th before showing some hints of trying to break down. And when you look at the temperatures within that time frame, what I want you to notice is this is Friday of this week, warmer than normal. And I'm going to tell you guys, Friday, Saturday, Sunday will all be very warm. But you'll notice this cool blasting in late in the weekend, Monday of next week, Tuesday of next week leaving, and then Wednesday of next week, you can see this huge area of above normal conditions blasting into our area, lasting into next weekend, and it's mammoth, continuing into the middle of the last 10 days of October. And then that question mark is, can that cooler from Canada start to displace this as we go towards the end of the month? What I can tell you guys is that all of the signal shows a really warm pattern. And in the 6 to 10 day outlook, which is October 16th through October the 20th, the Climate Prediction Center is showing a very sharp signal of above normal. They're showing a 50% chance of warmer than normal within the Ohio Valley between October the 16th and the 20th. And this one's probably going to make people mad that are looking for fall. In the 8 to 14 day outlook, which goes October the 18th through October the 24th, they have a 70% chance of above normal conditions. Now, what you'll notice is in a high amplitude pattern, there are huge differences. And what you can see is in the western part of the U.S. and in Alaska, it is way colder than normal. Now, if you're asking me range, what does this mean? What I can tell you guys is any year that resembles this year, if anyone I would have to think about in the most recent, it was October, the winter and fall of 2013 and 14. In that year, we had something similar to this year, and what that is called was a warm blob. We saw one of these develop off the coast of California that extended through Alaska and into Siberia, and we referred to it that year as the warm blob. The warm blob in 2013 and 14, actually we have something similar this year. And the actual La Nina that may form in this winter shows some, or would reinforce what would occur in a warm blob year in the Pacific Ocean. What does that mean? Well, it means if you look back at 2013-14 winter, which there are some similarities to what we're seeing this year, that winter was cold it was marginally cold in November and December, but it turned sharply colder that year in January, February, and March. And in that winter of 2013 and 14, we actually saw a lot of snow. If you recall, that was a winter where we got a lot of clippers. We saw a lot of those 3-inch snowfall totals, and between February and January, we saw 15 inches of snow. So for those that are actually kind of, wondering what this could mean for winter, I can tell you guys that in the year it occurred, that was similar. We actually had a colder than normal winter. But overall, I will tell you, the topic of discussion that I wanted to talk about is the second half of October. What's my conclusion? The second half of October is going to be warmer than normal. And I'm not saying there aren't going to be cooler days, because there will be tomorrow. There will be on Thursday. But if you had to average the rest of the month all together, my sense is that this is going to be a warmer than normal second half of October. There's some questions in the last 5 days of the month, but I don't think that's going to be able to overcome what is going to be a generally warmer than normal next 2 weeks. So that's kind of my thinking. I know there's going to be a lot of questions on this one. I will open it up to some questions. What I would ask before we jump into that is, remember guys, I want to get over 1,000 shares. Everybody needs to share the video 5 times. If you haven't shared the video 5 times, do it real quickly. Let's get ourselves up over 1,000 shares tonight for the 110th night in a row, which is a really great task if you guys have done that. And by the way, after you've shared it 5 times per person, let me know down below so I can give you a shout out. Let's open it up to questions. Marty's saying if I can ride my jet ski till the middle of November, that would be great. Amanda's saying allergies. Amanda, it's probably now you're transitioning more towards mold. The pollen counts are actually now starting to subside a little. We're still waiting for the first freeze of the year, which there's no data that shows that's going to occur in the next 7 days. But to end the allergy season, it's not totally done. The growing season's not over. But I will tell you that the pollen counts are getting a little better. Share from Bobby times 8. Thank you. Tina with 5 shares. Thank you, Tina. Terry Caudil with 5 shares. Thank you, Terry. Jeremy with 10 shares. Thanks, Jeremy. Bobby with a share. Thank you, Bobby. Jason saying, I want some snow in Cloverport this year. Honestly, yeah, I think we're going to get our chances this year. Josh Turner is still messing with me from last year where I said instead of snowflakes, I did indeed say snow flames, and Josh will never let me live that down. Honestly, if I were you, Josh, I wouldn't either. Lisa's asking about storms to the west. Are they heading towards Hardin County? They are, but remember, we've rained all day. This will knock the intensity off significantly, Lisa, so these will die as they move across our area. Sharina with 20 shares. Thank you, Sharina. I appreciate that. Mary saying so many shares she lost count. I love that. Teresa with 5 shares. Thank you. Glinda saying, I have shared a ton. I live in Florida, and I'm looking at coming home to Kentucky. We'd love to have you back. Terry's asking about winter. Honestly, Terry, you know, I've probably spent a total of 25 minutes looking at winter time stuff thus far. And I got to tell you, I've had a lot going on lately, so I haven't had a huge amount of time. My feeling is in November, I'm probably going to spend a little more time, and we probably will put out a winter forecast. Until then, it's still just a little bit of, I just have too much going on right now to immerse myself fully. Brenda with 10 shares. Thank you, Brenda. Ashley asked about winter. Again, I'll probably spend a little more time in November looking at that. 7 shares from Jason. Thank you, Jason. Amanda with 5 shares. Thank you. Alex is asking about if there's any flood advisories out. The flood advisory that was out earlier was to expire at 7:15. Let me just verify indeed that has expired. Just give me a moment here. I just need to give the weather system a second to upload. Melissa's saying she wants a Snowmageddon year. Mary with 11 shares. Shout out to Frankfurt. You got it. So you can see all we've got left here is a river flood warning for northern Grayson and for southern Breckenridge County. Che is asking, have we seen a freeze? We have not officially for the year. Amber saying, thanks for being an awesome weatherman. I appreciate that. Thank you, guys. Kayla with a share times 22. I love seeing that. Thank you, Kayla. I appreciate that. Steve's saying, praying for a busy winter. He has a snow and ice management business. And I do get that. You know, a lot of us are kind of like, it's great, it's fun, or I hate snow. But in the end of this, I do get that there are people that their livelihood depends on snow and snow removal. So, you know, in that sense, I think that does kind of remind us what's really important. Shai's asking about Halloween. Honestly, 21 days into the future, I think everybody knows is an impossible forecast. You know, the trend I feel like for the next 2 weeks is warmer than normal. I feel like I can tell you that we're probably going to have below normal tomorrow, Thursday, and my sense is Monday and Tuesday of next week. Outside of that, I don't see a whole lot through probably middle of the last 10 days of October. Brenda's asking, will Halloween be cold? Too far into the future to say. Debbie's saying, I love your reports. I appreciate that. Thank you, Debbie. Lacey's saying, nice tie. I appreciate that. Actually, this is one of my new shirts. I love this shirt, and it really goes well with this tie, so it's one of my favorites right now. Mary's saying 2,200 views. I appreciate that, guys. You know, when you kind of think about this, our little Facebook club started about 2.5 years ago. True story here. So I'm not on social media as a personal. I only do it for work. I mean, I think probably you can understand when my life is somewhat public because of my job. So when I'm not at work, I am someone that definitely appreciates privacy. So I don't really do any social media. But true story, a couple years ago, my station was like, you know what, this is a part of our evolving business. You need to be on there. So I was like, you know what, because it's important to you guys, I'll do it. So we started this little Facebook weather club a couple of years ago, and we grew into one of the largest in the country. We sit at 207,000 people. I mean, just think about that for a second. Our little weather club is approaching 250,000 people. I mean, that is crazy. I just like weather. You know, I just love what I do. I love talking about weather, and I can't believe that our little club has grown into this mammoth, one of the biggest weather pages anywhere in the country. And I just appreciate you guys for that. It really does make me appreciate everything you guys do. I mean, I don't have a job without you guys. I do what I do. It's a popularity contest. It is what it is, you know. I just try to get the forecast right. I've tried to let you guys know over the years that you matter. I've tried to prove that by my actions, by my staying late, by my coming in early, and by me taking care of you guys during severe weather. And that's been a dedication that I've tried to show you guys. And like I said, it's easy to say things. It really is. It's easy to say that we're going to do whatever it takes, but you know what? I don't want to be that talker. My goal all along was to prove it with action. And so, you know, to me, it's something that I've worked really hard for in my life for what we have here. And you know, when Louisville brought me here, when WDRB brought me here, it's been 13 years now, they brought me in here to kind of build a weather department. And you know, 13 years later, it's awesome. I mean, it really is. Our little Facebook page, WDRB, which used to be the little station, has grown into a powerhouse in this market, and it is very, very, very rewarding for me to see this. You know, I feel like this was kind of my little baby. You know, I've put my life into this. I mean, when I say that, you know, I don't. This isn't my job. This is my life, and I put everything I have into this. So, you know, it's very rewarding. It really is. It's cool to see everything that you guys have done for me over the last 13 years. It's humbling. It's exciting. And you know, I'm only 42 years old. I'm an old man, but not really. So you guys aren't going to get rid of me anytime soon. So I hope you guys are used to me, because I'm sticking around for a while. You know, I'd love someday for people to look at me like some of the legends of the market, like Tom Wills, and some of those guys that just have been remarkable Mets and just deep, deep, deep parts of our community. So, you know, that's my goal. I've got a long, long time to do it. So hopefully you guys don't get sick of me. Now, let me update you guys, by the way, on where we are on our shares. We're sitting at 7:15. All right, guys, we got 5 minutes left on the video. I want to get up over 1,000 shares for the 110th night in a row. I can't do it myself. I need you guys to share and help me get there. So if you guys can, we need about 3 shares per person from everybody in here. You share 3 times, everybody shares 3 times, we're done, and we get to move on and not talk about that anymore. Terry's saying I get emotional. I actually am a passionate guy. That is a distinct part of me. I don't think that probably surprises anybody seeing me jump up and down on TV all the time, but I am definitely a passionate guy. That is a distinct, locked-in part of who Marc Weinberg is. Somebody asked how you can measure the dew point. There's actually a device called a sling psychrometer that we can use to measure it. It's basically a calculated value. Without going into the huge science of it, the real moisture value that we use is saturated vapor pressure, basically, and we convert from there towards the other values. But dew point is a simple one. The reason it's so easy is if the air temperature hits the dew point, it's the temperature that dew forms. So it's always been an easy one. Jennifer's saying, we know, we watched the eclipse with you. Yeah, that was definitely an emotional one. Honestly, so on my phone, my lock screen is the eclipse. So my phone is obviously pitch black when I click the button, and only thing in the middle is my picture I took of the eclipse. The reason I do that is because with all the insanity of the world, with everybody spewing hate everywhere you go, I just want to be reminded of something that's beautiful every day I turn on my phone. So to me, I like it. I like that I can see something that's naturally beautiful and not be constantly taken down by everything that's going on around me. So that's the reason why I've got that on there. Carol's saying it's pouring in Bullitt County. Yeah, that shower has flared east of I-65, so that brings a heavy rain area. Mount Washington, along Bardstown Road, and that one's about to squeeze, let's say, Fern Creek, Fisherville, through, let's say, around Middletown. Bobby's saying amen, thank you. Mary's saying same thing, no hate here. Am I the only one, guys? Thumbs up or down? Am I the only one that's getting to the point where I hate getting on social media because I get on there and I'm bombarded with, I don't mean this in a mean way, but I'm bombarded with opinions from everybody about these divisive, hateful issues, and I feel like I didn't ask. So, I mean, I'm kind of like, I follow some weather people, and I don't want to hear hatred. I just don't. I feel like it's just a burden now. I feel like you can't get away from it. It's the craziest time I've ever seen. Shai's saying, yeah, sees it all the time. Carol's saying it's getting bad. Kristen's saying amen. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I feel like I just can't get away from it now, but I don't know if it's culture. I don't know if it's social media. I don't know what it is. But it is tiring, to be sure. Let me tell you guys where we are on our shares. So we got 3 minutes left in the video, and I need you guys to step on the gas to get our shares up over 1,000. We're still 100 short. Robin's saying, is it going to help the fall colors? Traditionally speaking, as we look at fall colors, what we look for is cool nights. You're probably thinking, haven't had that. And we look for a wet, late summer, which you're thinking, all right, it basically didn't rain in September outside of Harvey. And that's unfortunate. What that means is that we're probably not going to see a vibrant fall. This might help a little bit in softening things up and not muting it as badly, but I don't think it's going to be a great one. Courtney's saying, I get weather from your Facebook, can't handle the news anymore. And I get it. I mean, honestly, I empathize and I get it. 4 more from Mary. Thank you, Mary. Guys, after you've shared the video 5 times total, comment down below. Let me know so I can give you a shout out. Kayla's saying, Patty, share. I need you guys to share. Let's get ourselves up over 1,000. 110th night in a row. Teddy's saying hello. Teddy, hope you're having a nice night. Shai saying, enjoying the warmer weather. I actually like the crisp fall, and I feel like I wish we'd have a little more. Gary's asking when the first frost is. Gary, unfortunately, there is nothing in the near future that shows the first one. Brian's saying he wants snow. I get it. Alex is saying, will we see the sun soon? There is. You better be ready, guys. The next couple of days are going to be dreary, and I mean dreary. You're not going to like them if you don't. If you like sun, it's probably not going to make you happy. Shai with 5 more shares, thank you. Cindy with another 10 shares, thank you. Jennifer saying she enjoys fall colors and we need more. And, I wish I could provide. I think this will help a little. I just don't think it's going to help enough. Let me quickly tell you guys, we've got about another minute left in the video, so please share. Everybody share 1, 2 more times. We'll easily make it up over our share goal. Let me quickly tell you what I'm going to be discussing on WDRB News at 10. 10 o'clock, top of the hour. We've got rain in our area, and some are still seeing some pockets of heavy rain. I'm going to give you the rain timeline as we move through the overnight hours. You need to expect rain as you step outside tomorrow morning. That's on WDRB News at 10 o'clock, top of the hour. If you like warmer, you're going to enjoy the 85 I have. No joke? I have an 85-degree temperature. When to expect a major warm-up on WDRB News at 10:22. And I think we're going to see a major transition to cooler. Look, I think there's 40s out there. I think that transition is going to occur this weekend. Problem is warm, humid, strong cold front can generate strong to severe thunderstorms. And there is a day that I am going to watch. What day I'm concerned, and I'm going to give you my analysis of severe potential and threats on WDRB News at 10:37. So set your alarm clock. It's easy, guys. 10, 10:22, 10:37. I always say, you guys show up and support me on social media in a huge way. Please always remember, support me on TV as well. 10, 10:22, 10:37. You guys can watch whatever program you want, but just change the channel at 10, 10:22, and 10:37 for me real quickly. That way I can give you guys my update. We're at 8:56. Let me update you guys one last time on our shares before I end the video. Our goal is to get over 1,000 shares. If we do tonight, we're at 110 in a row, which is crazy that we're there. And we are at 1,084. We're up over 1,000 shares. The tabulated total on Facebook can lag a little. Throw me just a couple more shares. Let's get ourselves up over 1,100. That way you don't have to worry about the number. Remember, guys, you can continue to like, love, and even share the video after it ends. I always appreciate your support, and I'm going to rest my voice for a little while, and I'll see you guys in WDRB News at 10. By the way, you guys are awesome.